YouTubers, what we are going to do today is we are going to print and cut big. This paper is 8.5 by 14. This one I actually cut down to 9 by 17. You can, and then this is just a regular 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, so you can kind of see how much bigger we get to print and cut. You can print and cut any size on any Cameo. You have to change some settings and you can print and cut any size you want. The big limiting factor to this is your printer. You just need a printer that can actually print big. Most printers just print 8.5 by 11. So as long as your printer can print big, you can print and cut as big as you really want to. So let me go show you what you need. Alright, so what you're going to need is paper. So this is 8.5 by 14. And some printers may be able to do this, some regular standard printers. You're going to need a wide format printer for any of the other ones. This is 11 by 17, and then this is, I think, 13 by 20, but paper. And what I've been doing is cutting it down to 9 inches because I've been using the Xyron. Little Xyron. And what I've been doing is putting the Xyron to make these into stickers. Alright. And I've been using, the Xyron's got the different cartridges in it, so this is the repositionable one. But the Xyron's only 9 inches wide, so that's why we're cutting them down. But the nice thing is that it puts, because the way the cartridges are, it puts this kind of plastic layer on the back. So it really helps making the stickers. But it helps because if you put plain copy paper down on a sticky mat, it's not going to end well. It's because more than likely because it's really thin paper, the paper is just going to stick to the mat. So, and then these are just nice because they peel right off, and you pretty much make stickers for the price of a piece of paper and some of this cartridge. So, the designs, the support small business designs, are going to be free on the webpage. I will leave a link to them and everything else up here down in the description so you can see it all. So paper, I've also, and see, I talk from experience about putting paper down on a sticky mat. You're going to need one of the big mats. I know you can't really see it. This is a 12 by 24 mat. It's a Cricut mat, and I've cut it. I'll leave a link up above, but I cut them so that they match my the Cameo, or they match the Cameo's grid better. And I'll leave a little link up above to how to do that. You do not have to use the Cameo mats. You can absolutely use a silhouette mat. The reason I ended up with a Cameo mat, or the Cricut mats, is because it was available locally. I will put links down to them from Amazon, but I would recommend, if you can, I know we're in the middle of craziness, getting one from the store, because I've seen a lot of crazy stories of getting these delivered because they roll them up, or it doesn't end well. It's a big thing, and trying to get it shipped, it gets a little interesting. So they get rolled up and crinkled and all sorts of stuff. So I'd recommend going to an actual store and getting one of the big mats. And the Xyron, this. And then I have a wide format printer. You might be able to get away with some of the just standard printers with 8.5 by 14 inch paper, but any of the bigger paper, you're going to need a wide format. So I have a Canon Pixma, is what it's called. It's about 150 bucks. I'll leave the link down below to Amazon. And it's actually, I don't use it all that much, but it's really nice to have whenever I get a wild idea, like stickers in the middle of the night. So, but it's great, and it can print up to 13 by 19, I think. So you can even print 12 by 12, like scrapbooking paper and things like that as well. But let me go show you how to set this all up in the software, which is the big deal, and then we'll go print. All right. So this is a standard Cameo mat, the 12 by 12 mat. So, and then right now, if I click print border, I have the standard 8.5 by 11 inch print border. And then these are my stickers I brought in already. They're my circles. So what you're going to do first is come up here to cutting mat and do automatic Cameo, and it'll give you the big mat. And then we're going to go up here to file and then print. And see, I've got my Canon already selected. If I try this with my inkjet that doesn't print big, it won't come up. but it will come up for my Canon. So go to Preferences, and then see right here it says Letter. So we're going to go down to Custom, because I'm going to cut off a couple inches. So we're going to have a 9-inch width, and then it's going to be 17 inches long. So that's what we're going to do. So 9 and then 17, and hit OK. You can do any size print and cut you want. That's the whole reason I'm doing this, is everybody sees these little bitty sheets. You can do any size of print and cut you want, as long as your printer can print it, the machine can cut it. So Custom, and then we're going to hit OK, and then we're going to hit Apply, and we'll hit Cancel, and then now you see it's my big square. So now when I go over here to turn on my registration marks, there they are. No, they're not. They're in the wrong spot. They're in the wrong spot because over here when it says media size, it's at 12 by 24. We need to change it to 9. 9, enter. 17, enter. And then it'll move to the right spot. And that's all there is to it. And then these are my stickers, my circles. And then when you want to put them in, I'll ungroup them. But make sure nothing's in the hatched off area, and make sure nothing is too close to any of these, because the machine reads them. And so if you get too close to it, the machine will try to read your design instead of, try to read the design instead of the marks, which causes a lot of problems. Also, these circles right here are not going to print because they're set as 0 points right now. And so if you want them to print where actually you can see them, you would need to give them a point size. Now, print and cut doesn't always cut exactly on the line, so I would tell you not to make sure they don't print. That way, if it's a little off, you're not going to notice. And then these down here, what I did was I put an offset around them. Let's copy him. What I did is I put an offset around him. So if you go over to the outline star, this is the offset feature. And then you can, so that way it cuts around it, because if not, it's going to try to cut out all these little bitty letters, and you're not going to want that. So, and that's all there is to it. And we're going to do File and Print now. And Canon is selected, and we are going to print. And it's going to take it a while to think about life and contemplate life. Alright, so I did want to show you real quick. There is no 9-inch paper 9 by 17-inch paper that I know of. Granted, I have not searched, or maybe there's some mystically on Amazon. But I've just been cutting down my 11 by 19-inch paper. So I've been using the self-healing cutting mat and my poor quilting ruler, which is never used for quilting, and the rotary cutter. And I've just been cutting off 2 inches of paper. So there is my 9 by 17-inch paper. Alright, so here's my printed piece of paper. See all my little registration marks are there. If you get anything that is weird, funky, go in your properties or in your preferences and make sure that it's not trying to shrink it or stretch it, because it needs to print all of these marks, or else the machine's not going to be able to read it and you're going to be really frustrated. So what we're going to do now is take our Xyron, and this is the repositionable adhesive. So this is the whole cartridge, this big plastic thing. And you can put multiple different cartridges in here, including permanent adhesive. And this one is repositionable, and there's got laminate too, and magnets. And it's a really cool little machine. And when you do, if you don't have one and you get one, the first thing you do is try to fit everything through it to see what it's like. It's kind of fun. So you're going to lay it out. And it's going to roll through. Oh, because I opened it. Is it because I opened it? Because I opened it, it got a little out of whack. right, and it's going to roll through. See? And it rolls through. And it rolls through. And then it's got a little cutter here. And basically, it doesn't matter if it gets, so mine's a little cattywampus, and it doesn't really matter as long as where your stickers are going to be, it's all got the adhesive, because all of this is not important. So, scissors, and I just cut off any extra. And it's okay if you nick the paper a little bit. And then the plasticky part, you're going to want to take off. There we go. Now you're going to want to get the big honkin' mat. All right. And so mine isn't as sticky as it was because I just put this down the other day and got paper stuck to it. So, I speak from experience. So you're going to want to line it up the best you can. And I would recommend making sure you have this grid covered. Making sure that the grid's not visible. Because sometimes the machine can read it. And not your registration marks. So, because my mat's not as sticky as it was, you can put down some painter's tape. But once again, make sure that it's not really close to, any of your marks. Because if it is, the machine will read your painter's tape and not your marks. And then, we're doing this in my basement at night. It's not like, I mean, it's bright, but it's not day glow by any means. So, but you're going to want, I'm going to say a lot of light, but you're going to want a fair amount of light so that machine can see what it's doing. So there's the big mat. I've got my design, and then it's taped into place just to kind of hold it down. And we're going to go over and we're going to cut it. All right, so we're back at the screen. So we're going to hit the send panel. So it's just going to want to cut these outside edges, which is what you want. We're going to cut with the ratchet blade. Cardstock plane. I've actually been doing this with a force of 14 and a speed of 4. And then I've just been doing a blade of 1. If the blade of 1 doesn't work, then I would actually increase the force and then send it through again. Because you don't want, because they're stickers, you want the kiss cut and you don't want it to cut all the way through. So, and then cut the edge. See, cut edge is highlighted and that's what you want. If it's trying to cut all of these individual little letters, then make sure cut isn't selected, the cut edge is selected. So we're doing this on my Cameo too because it's in the right spot for this. Because when the mat feeds through, remember it's going to go through at least 17 plus inches. So you need 17 inches of clearance on the other side of the Cameo. Any of the Cameos should be able to do this. When I hit send, it's going to go and read the little marks and make some faces and then go cut them. And that's all there is to it. I took it off the mat. And then, there we go. I've been using the blade of 1 because what a kiss cut is where it cuts through the paper but not the backing. So it's got a bit of an indent, but it hasn't cut all the way through. So if for whatever reason, if your blade doesn't do that, I would increase the force a couple and then send it back through. But before you pull your first one off the mat, definitely double check and make sure that it's cut all the way through. So, and if it cuts all the way through this and the backing, then back off your force. So, but I really just wanted you to know that you can print and cut on any size piece of paper. You're not stuck with 8.5 by 11-inch paper. So branch out. And then these is just any SVG file. Any SVG file can be turned into a sticker. All you do is put a circle around it and off you go. This is also a good, I think, beginner project because you're not really out a lot of money because sticker sheets get expensive pretty quick. So this is basically just whatever the paper costs and the cartridge. So you're not out like, you know, for, or, you know, several dollars per page. Because I see a lot of people get really upset. Because print and cut can be a problem child sometimes. So this is kind of a good, not as expensive version of print and cut. So please like and subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. And I'll be back with another tutorial soon.